Minister. Senator Bragg.
Thanks very much. My question is to the Minister representing the Housing Minister, Senator Farrell. What steps is the government taking to protect taxpayer funds held by the Housing Australia Future Fund from being used by the CFMEU via the super fund CBUS?
Minister Farrell.
Thank you, President, and thank Senator Bragg for his question. Of course, we've got a new minister in this space, Minister O'Neill, of course, and she is she's making sure that the issues that we inherited from the incompetence of the former government are going to be resolved by this government, and of course
Order.
Well, if you want to do something, if you're serious about wanting to do something about the activities of the CFMEU, well then you can do one thing. You can do one thing this afternoon. You can do one thing this afternoon, and that is to vote for this legislation.
Please resume your seat. Senator Bragg.
Point of order, President, on relevance. The question was quite specific about the Housing Australia Future Fund.
Thank you. Order. Order across. Senator Ayres. Order. Order. I will draw the minister back to the question, while I also remind all senators, order, that if you make interjections, the minister is entitled to respond to those as well. Minister Farrell.
Thank you, President, and thank you for that direction, because there is a way that the opposition can assist dealing with the issues that we face in this space, and
Senator
Cash, you're a key player in this. Senator Cash, it's within your capability of starting to resolve these issues, and you have to understand, Senator Cash, you have to understand that there is obligations on you to responsibly deal with this issue, and if you can intervene as much as you like, but the reality is, Senator Cash, you have an obligation. You have an obligation.
Thank you, Senator Farrell. Order. Order. The time's elapsed, Senator Henderson. So there's no point to make a point of order. Senator Bragg, first supplementary.
Thanks very much, President. I think the remarks are supposed to be directed—
I'm sorry, Senator Bragg. The chamber was
very rowdy.
Noisy. I'm going to ask you to begin again. Thank you.
Thanks, President. I think the remarks are supposed to be directed through the chair, but in any event, is the minister aware of the statement by the CBUS chair, Mr Wayne Swan, who says, quote, "We believe that investing through the HAF will meet the best financial interests of our members," end quote. But are those interests really those of the CFMEU?
Thank you, Senator Bragg. Before I call the minister, I will remind the minister to make his remarks to the chair. I'll also remind senators, particularly those on my left, but not exclusively, that they are to listen in silence. Minister Farrell.
President, I'm not sure if I understand that question, to be perfectly honest. Maybe, I don't know whether you wrote it yourself. I'm not sure whether you wrote it yourself, Senator Bragg, but it's a mystifying question for me. But can I say this in general response to your attacks on the Housing Australia Future Fund, that these are good people that are working very hard in the interests of this country to increase the supply of housing. One of the consequences of this Labor government doing so much to boost our economy, of course, is that we have brought in people from overseas. That's created an issue about housing. We are set about to deal with that issue, and the Housing Australia Future Fund, managed by Housing Australia,
thank you, Minister.
those people are doing
answering
exactly
has
that.
expired. Senator Bragg, second supplementary.
All right. Well, this is a very clear question. If the last one was a bit befuddling, does the government regard CBUS, with 3 CFMEU trustees on its board, as an appropriate organisation for the HAF with which to do business?
Minister Farrell.
My understanding, Senator Bragg, is that, and this is a much clearer question, and I'm pleased. I'm pleased you followed my advice to ask sensible, straightforward questions. My understanding is that that issue is now under review by APRA. And that is obviously an independent, well, you know, there are independent organisations in this country that we have that govern the ruling. I was a member of a superannuation fund, a very fine superannuation fund, Rest Superannuation Fund, for 15 years, and we were always governed by a set of rules which we complied with. Those rules will be applied in this case.
Thank you, Minister Farrell. The time for answering has expired. Senator